I think it is going to work finally. Okay. Okay, got it. I don't want to leave my meeting. Okay, goodness gracious. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, yeah.
I was saying to the ladies before we got back on live, if this doesn't show you that you don't need to be a tech genius to do this business, I don't know what does. But thank you guys for hopping on live. I think we are streaming live on Instagram too. And I'm going to take a drop of oil because I'm in the stress zone after that. So take a moment, grab an oil, just have a big breath. Oils is what brought us all here. And, you know, kind of the reason why we're here tonight is to talk about oils, how they can support us, and how we can share that with other people. So I chose frankincense. What about you guys? What did you choose?
Frankincense.
Kid power.
Kid power.
I chose highest potential.
So good. Okay, so if you guys are watching live, you can comment. We can't see them right now on Zoom, but we will go back and chat with them or answer them. If you guys don't know me, my name is Rachel. I am very honored to be able to share with these ladies and share my story and just ask them about their stories as well. One thing I absolutely love about Young Living is we have such a variety of products, but we also have such a variety of people. So people that come from different backgrounds, different jobs, different lifestyles. Like there's not a one size fits all here with products, but also with the business and the community. So that's just something that's really special, because if you are somebody who, like I was, and I was like, I don't really fit in, I want a sense of community, you can cultivate that and you can create that to whatever kind of fits for your lifestyle. So my story a little bit, I'll go first, I guess, and then I will call on you guys. I started using Young Living products 5 years ago, and my need was really physical. Like I had hair loss, I had acne and skin issues, and I just felt like I had tried everything, honestly, like doctors and dermatologists. And ultimately, I was just like, we'll try it. Like, what do we got to fail, right? So for me, it was kind of like a last ditch effort. I had tried some oils before for different reasons and didn't really think they worked. They weren't Young Living. So I was pretty skeptical. And then when I started using them and loving them, I was like, heck, I'm cheap, but I want to order these every month. Like, how do I do this? So I started to explore sharing, and it wasn't just sharing the product, but what really kind of intrigued me, and I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but it was exciting. It felt good to help people. And it was like a challenge. Like it was a sense of growth and something that just felt really good inside. So it was a bonus that it paid for my products. And 5 years later, here we are, and I get to help other women do this. So it is a really great passion. So, all right, ladies. So Brooke, I'll ask you first. So people that don't know Brooke, so like tell us a little bit about your story. When did you start using oils? What got you into oils? And yeah, how long has it been?
So 3 years ago in July, I was introduced to Young Living. At the time, ironically, I was newly pregnant with my son Lincoln, who's now 2.5. And I was already sort of like looking into how I could start reducing the toxins in our home. And yeah, ironically, a high school friend of mine, Amanda, reached out to me, and it was like it was just the best timing, because Young Living is like, there's just so much, and it's like a one-stop shop. So I started switching out and like just switching and ditching the products in our home. And that's where like Essential Rewards for me was so beneficial, because I was able to do it at like the time that I wanted. Like if I was running out of something, I would just start switching over to different things. And I would be buying these products anyways, but I was also earning free products, earning credits, getting points. So like, why not? And so reducing the toxins, but also another thing that I really needed to support was my back pain. In 2013, I was in a pretty bad, or no, 2012, I was in a pretty bad car accident, had severe whiplash, and my back hasn't been the same. So that has been quite a struggle for me. Thankfully, I have found like a lot to support me. I would be in a much worse place than I am right now if I didn't have these things to
I think that's a super common, like for me anyways too. it was a physical thing. It was like I had, tried other stuff, or I wanted a way to support it from a more natural standpoint. And I think that's a really common thing for people, right? They're like, I feel this physically, I really want to support it. I didn't even know about the emotional benefits when I first started. I want to ask you a question. So how do you think, or like, what would your life be like today if that friend didn't reach out to you and invite you to take a look at oils?
Not as enjoyable, because I was managing my pain by just basically taking Advil and Aleve, so masking it, not really actually helping it. So that was a big thing. Obviously, consuming too much of that is not doing good for my body and liver and whatever else. So long-term wise, wouldn't be good. And then also, like, for Lincoln, like growing up in a household where we are reducing the toxins, I started like educating myself on like how chemicals that we're exposed to every single day have long-term effects on our bodies, and can wreak havoc like on our hormones and respiratory system, and have like skin irritants and like all that. And I'm so glad that he's not exposed to those things, and we aren't any longer. So yeah,
what a gift.
Yeah.
So the way that I think is like, that is such a gift to hear that. But when we are thinking, and maybe you guys can comment if you're watching, but when you are maybe a little hesitant to share with somebody, or, oh, she doesn't, maybe she doesn't want to hear what I have to say, or, oh, that person doesn't really talk to me anymore, or whatever. Like, think about things like this. Like, what would your life be like if that person didn't, go out on a limb and say, hey, maybe you'll like this, maybe it'll support you. Like, your life was changed. That is a ripple effect, because she asked you to take a look, and you have changed other people's life because of that. Like, that is a huge, huge ripple effect for your entire life and your future, and your family's future. So I think that's something that we take for granted. We just love and use our oils, and we forget how much we can help people, right? Not just ourselves.
Yeah, I want to second that too, because if my friend hadn't introduced oils to me, my life would be like drastically different. Like, I can't even imagine, and I can't even imagine. Just so grateful for. So
and I think that's a feeling, and the excitement and the reminder we have to have, in our hearts and our minds, to say like, I'm going to share this with people, like, wholeheartedly. Like, I'm not worrying about what they say back, because I know that if I don't, like, how would you in your heart think, I should have shared that with that person. Like, I know I could have helped them, and I just didn't. I kept it to myself, right? We have to keep that in our minds. And that's truly like where the, pure heart of sharing is. And I know that everybody here loves to do that, is just from the heart, right? So
I think when something impacts you to your core this way, like, truly, you can't, I know for me, I can't help but tell people about it, right? Because it's just so genuine. Like, if something helps me, then I obviously want to recommend it to other people. If we watch a great movie, you're like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. You guys have to go see this. And I think the same goes, especially for healthcare and our overall wellness, because it affects us every single day of our life, like truly. So
yeah, I will say though, I think it's easy, and maybe I'm sure we have some giveaways. Meredith is on it. So maybe for a giveaway first, like, if you have been using oils for a while, is it easy for you? And do you find that you forget like how you felt at the beginning? Because I think that's sometimes easy to be like, take my oils for granted, take how I felt before, whether it be from like community or health and wellness or income. Like, how did you feel before? Because it's easy to take that for granted and kind of forget about it. And we're just like, we feel so great. We've been using these products for years, but I think we have to get back to that person there and think of who is that person we can, find in someone else, like, and help them too, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely
okay.
Changing.
Sorry, what else did you say?
I just said it's life-changing, and like you said, it has a ripple effect. Like, and even before I was like intentionally sharing, I was already sharing about it. So it was like, it was. And
I think that's most people, right? They're kind of just casually mentioning it to people because they're like, whoa, I felt a shift or a change, or they come to their house and they're like, yeah, your house smells great. What is it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you were kind of casually sharing without really intention. When did you make that shift? And when did you say, like, I want to grow a business, and realize that kind of potential that you could have?
So it was actually just, I think it was like May of 2020. I had actually just started back from mat leave, like literally the week we got shut down in March for COVID. And I started back 4 days at a new job, and then I had gotten laid off. And so I had time, and I also like was like, oh well, like maybe I could actually make this something. Like, so I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a go. And yeah, honestly, like at the beginning, I feel like I was a lot more consistent. And then there was like a point that when I had gotten back to work, it wasn't as consistent. I was just trying to like balance all the things, like get into like a routine of things again. Um, but within the last, I want to say like 3 to 4 months, I feel like I've really been able to like find my groove and just like become more comfortable with sharing. Something that like I struggle with is that I'm a perfectionist. And so perfectionism for me is like it results in procrastination. So like that's like my biggest downfall is that I just need to do it. Like I need to stop caring what other people will think, and just like be in the moment and go for it. So,
and would you say it was easier to share, let's say like right at the beginning when you were excited, or was it easier to share, like, let's say when you came back from that break? What was easier for you?
I would say easier to come back now because I have more knowledge than I did at that time.
I was going to say the other way, because I was going to say you wouldn't have had to take, or you didn't take that break. Because I feel like personally like that, if you slow down, that's totally cool. But if you stop, I feel like sometimes that is like way harder to get back into your groove, even if it's a totally different groove. So
I wouldn't say like even in like that, like it wasn't necessarily like a break completely. It was just that I did, like it just slowed, and that was that.
And isn't that a gift that we can adjust that way and, you know, make it fit for our business? So you guys might have noticed that our lovely Felicia is not on tonight, and that is because she is not feeling her best. And the beauty of this business, like I want to mention that because you said, you know, you slowed down a bit, is that you can rest, like you can take breaks. You can listen to yourself, and you should listen to yourself, where you can't always do that with a regular job, right? You can't say, sorry, you know, I'm not feeling my best today, I need to take the day. Some places you can't do that, or maybe you can, but you won't get paid. Like the beauty of this business is that you can mindfully do that and listen to yourself, or, you know, you need to stay home with your kids or whatever it may be, right? So we wish her the best. She'll be on again. Okay, so how do you make it work? Like you said, you had to kind of adjust between when you were sharing at the beginning and you weren't working when you went back to work. So how do you make it work between like your family, your work, and your other priorities? We definitely all have other priorities in life.
Yeah. So definitely like prioritizing things has been huge for me. Like for example, laundry. I know I'm never going to be caught up on it. I've just given up. Like it gets done, but I will never be caught up, and I've just accepted that.
I haven't even had a washer dryer for 8 weeks, so don't worry, it's not that important, truthfully. Like it can wait. Don't worry.
Yeah, so like just like things like that. Habit stacking. Doing like just being more intentional with my time, like doing dishes and like having a class on at the same time. Like just fitting it into the small times that I have by myself. Well, not even necessarily by myself, but like just fitting it in where I can and when I can.
Good. I love that. And making it work versus making an excuse, right? And for someone who says they're a perfectionist and you procrastinate, doing things while you're doing other things. Like I know people say don't multitask, but I don't know. If I can, you know, get ready in the morning and listen to something, like that works for me. It might not work for everybody, but do either of you other ladies do habit stacking? I'd love to know
that. I don't think I do habit stacking per se, but I definitely can relate to Brooke in that fitting it in the cracks and really running with the time that I have, being super intentional, and even like setting a timer so I can stay focused and I don't get distracted by all the pretty shiny things that, you know, fly onto my screen or this or that, right? And so, and then just, I think the key word really is intentional and making for me, making lists is super helpful. So when I can see exactly what I want to do, then it's really easy for me to laser that focus in and just get it done. But I do love how this business, it is our own unique individual business, and we get to run it however that works in our life. So, you know, sometimes I'm up early in the morning, sometimes I work 12-hour shifts. I can fit it in wherever it works. And I love that about this business. But also at the same token, what you put into it is what you get out of it, right? So that has rung super true. And what you were saying, Rachel, about that momentum, I feel that immensely. Like if I do a little bit every single day, I get way more momentum than if I try to do a whole bunch. Let's say I have the weekend off or a couple days off, and I try to do all this stuff. That never creates really good momentum, right? That just sort of results in more burnout than anything. So I think one of the few key things is just picking little things, being consistent with them, and trying to stay connected every single day, even if it is for 5 or 10 minutes. That 5 or 10 minutes is so valuable, and it can be done. That's the other thing. Sorry. The other thing was I never really thought that this business would be doable in 5 or 10 minutes a day. And it totally is.
Yeah. And I've said this before, I'm sure you ladies have heard this, but sometimes when I have like entire days off work, I don't get as much done. You get like squirrel brain, you get doing this, you get doing that. Like literally, I'm like, Jill, like I need to set timers. Whereas if I actually have like, okay, I'm on break for 30 minutes at work, I'm going to eat, then I'm going to message people for 10 minutes. Like that is sometimes way more effective and way more impactful than actually having an entire day off. So like, don't sell yourself short. If you don't have time, you actually probably have more of a benefit because you will do what you need. And in that time, I can't even remember what that, whatever theory is called, but like whatever time you have, you will make it fit in that time. Right. What about you, Des? Have you heard of habit stacking, or do you do that at all?
I think I have also recently started doing the timer thing, and I basically fit it in. Like I'll catch myself scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram, and it's like, oh, okay, I could be, you know, following up with people right now or sharing whatever.
And that's a good point too, because how much time, the people that say they don't have time, how much time are you actually spending on your phone doing something? Like that's fine. You want to veg out, watch Netflix, scroll, but if you actually want to do something in a business capacity, how much of that scrolling time could you be spent on doing something else, connecting with someone, you know, following up, inviting them to a class? Like it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes being intentional, right? Cool. Okay. So Brooke, you mentioned that. So what is, let's say, one thing you enjoy about this business? Or one thing you enjoy most?
So one thing I was surprised by and I enjoy the most are like the connections that I've made. I've reconnected with a lot of people like from my past or like school or jobs or whatever, which is so nice, especially during the last year and a half, because I am like a pretty outgoing person and not being able to do very much because of obviously what's going on in the world. It's been really nice to be able to connect with people and especially just like with the community, like the new friendships that I've made. Yeah, it's been.
And I think not everybody's, this can go in both ways, but some people, their source of like connection and fulfillment is their job. And some people it's not, and that's okay, whatever it is. But I love that this business does give a source of connection and fulfillment. And like, I never feel lonely. And honestly, I don't know, maybe this is me alone, but the last year and a half, I've not felt lonely because I've always had people to talk to, connect with, ask for support. Like this community is the best. So we have that, and it's a really big gift. So, okay, let's see. So first winner, before I forget, is Jamie S, because I'm gonna not say your last name correctly. So you won the first giveaway. I think that's on Facebook. And then Brooke, what is one piece of advice that you would give someone if they said like they just don't have time or they don't know where to start, or even as a perfectionist and a procrastinator, maybe they're saying like, I just don't know enough. I have to know more before I can start.
I feel like my like slogan, I just keep like telling myself, is just do the damn thing. Like that's literally like what I just have to keep reminding myself. You're gonna make it work. Like if it's important to you, you're gonna make it work. So
for the people in the back, like that is literally what you would, okay, in this sense. Okay, so would you go to work? You have to go to work to get paid, let's say. So you make it work, right? Or, you have to eat, you make it work. You've got to care for your child, you make it work. Like if it's a priority to you, you actually will make it work. So I think also knowing, and I didn't ask you guys, maybe I will, like what is your actual deep reason why you want to do this? It's not I want to help people. It's probably at the beginning, maybe you want to get your orders paid for, but like, what is so deep inside of you that if somebody says no to you, if the day is hard, if you've had a crappy week, if like your shit's just hitting the fan, what will actually keep you going? It's something so deep inside of you. It's not the helping people. That's amazing, but it has to get deeper and deeper. And like, what is truly your why for wanting to do this? Because if you have that in your mind and in your heart, then when Brooke says like, just do it, you will just be able to do it because you will make it work. So what's your why, Brooke?
Oh God, this is gonna make me emotional. To be able to stay home and raise Lincoln.
Okay. Yeah. And why is that important to you?
Because I don't want to miss out. Like I want to be able to watch him grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a beautiful gift, right? And I think when people say like, I want to stay home, that's great. But like, why do you want to stay home? It's not the fact you want to stay home. It's because you love your kids. You don't want to miss memories. You want to see them grow. That's why. Like, will that keep you going? 100%. Do you want to help people? Of course. But that reason inside you is going to keep you going far, greater and stronger and with more momentum than just saying you want to help people. Because we all want to, like, that's human nature. We just want to help people, right?
Yeah.
I love you. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Desiree. So when did you start using oils and what brought you to start using them, or for what?
So I struggle with scoliosis. And because of that, I struggle with a lot of back pain, lower, upper, middle, everything in between. And before I was introduced to Young Living, I was working a lot. I was in dance. I was dancing a lot. And there was a lot of things that I like that were normal to me. But as I talked with doctors, talked with family, I learned that it wasn't normal. And there was nothing I could really do to help my pain other than stretching and taking an Aleve, taking an Advil. And then like Brooke said, that's basically just masking it. It's not really helping. And because of that, I found I was taking like, maybe even up to 4 Advils every single day. And I was doing that for like, I want to say almost a year straight. And I felt the change in my body. I was not feeling good. I was constantly so drained. I couldn't figure out why. And like, I almost always felt sick to my stomach.
Jill over there is like, I know why. The nurse in us is like, I know why. Your poor belly.
So then my auntie and my grandma were both introduced to Young Living, and we would be hanging out together as family, and I would see them roll something on and she'd be like, oh, it's helping this. So I got really curious. I asked questions, and then I found a lot of like multiple different things to support with everything, not just my back pain, but I really needed support with like emotional balance as well.
And I know, when did you start using oils in relation to when you were pregnant or when you had Elena?
I started when I found out that I was pregnant. That's really when I wanted to dive in more and not focus only on oils, but cleaning, like that.
Yeah. And how big of a shift is it for you just to maybe have less pain or no pain? I don't know if that ever happens for you, but to have less pain when you're caring for Elena, like how big is that, right? To have pain all the time versus, being able to pick up your daughter and not have that same pain.
Yeah, it's it's a life changer. Like looking back, I honestly don't know how I lived through that without it. I definitely still have bad days now, but on those bad days when I can reach for something and not have those negative side effects that end up making me feel even worse and more grumpy, like it's a life-changing experience.
And imagine again, so if that person never shared with you, if they never got exposed to oils, if they, kept it to themselves and didn't share with you, like pain is a huge one too, I feel, for people, because it's like, it just doesn't affect one part of your body, which nothing does, everything's intertwined, but like you can physically feel a difference. Like you have pain and you have less pain, and that's a huge impact for you and your family. So I love that. Okay, so when did you kind of start sharing and realize that, this could make an impact and truly help your family with income?
So I didn't share for, I want to say, almost like half of a year beforehand. I was like, I saw it, like the opportunity, I knew about it, but I just didn't think it was my thing. And then shortly after I found out I was pregnant, I got laid off from my job because of COVID. And so I was really freaked out. We're trying to prepare for a baby. I needed some kind of income. So I basically just said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know how it was gonna feel, but I am like so grateful that I did go for it.
And think about that gift that you can share with people now. Maybe they're not at a point where they're losing their job, but to have something before that point is also such a huge benefit. Like to have that sense of comfort of, if something were happen to, my day job. Young living might not be, the be all end all for everybody or their full-time dream. However, it can definitely be a support. It can definitely help you. Like income is a giant stress for everyone, right? If we can alleviate something in people's lives that's such a huge stress, like income, then all the other things will start to get better. Like even your health is going to get better because you're not stressed and worried all the time. So that's a beautiful gift that you and Brooke were able to see that from. Okay, here's how I felt. Like, we were laid off from our jobs, and that has happened to people still over the last 18 months, or will continue to happen to people. Is there people in our hearts that we can say, I'm not sure if this is going to be for you, but it was really helpful to me, and I want you to have a backup plan and something that can be an income and support for you. Okay. So how do you make it work? So I know that I have seen you, Des, shift greatly in the last little while. So maybe explain like what shift that was for you and how you just make it work with your life and your family and everything.
So before I struggled with routine in general, but then trying to juggle an almost toddler now and business and everything in general, I had a hard time kind of finding out what my flow was. But now, like I said earlier, it's, you catch yourself scrolling on your phone and you're not really doing anything. So I'll kind of catch myself there, and then I'll set timers, give myself, sometimes it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, and share that way.
So what shifted for you though? Because I know that you have told me, and I think it's important to tell people that too, is like, you have been interested in the business, doing it for a while, but I have seen like a huge shift in you of like showing up more, sharing your gifts, like talking about oils, talking about, ways to support yourself. What made that shift inside of you?
So I am almost off my mat leave and having to return back to shift work again. And that kind of just really hit me. It was like, wow, okay, I'm not going to be able to, stay home with my daughter and play with her and, look after her. We're going to have to get childcare. And like the thought of that, it breaks my heart. Like I would much rather stay home and be able to do everything that they would do with her, myself, and more.
So, yeah. And I think that's okay for people to see, as like something may shift in you. It might be like you going back to work. It might be a health concern. It might be someone losing their job, like whatever it is. But there is you know, every opportunity. Just because you're not like hot out of the gate and interested, that's okay. Like to, you know, change your path a little bit, or your mind, and to say like, this is very important to me in this moment, and I want to start showing up. Like, it's never too late. It's never like, oh, well, I had my shot when I first got my oils 4 years ago and that's it. Like, that's not the way it is. If you, like you and Brooke have both said, like, if you really want that, you can start and just do it, right? Oh, I love that. Okay, so what is one thing you enjoy most about the business?
Honestly, the community that came along with it is like so like powerful and overwhelming, but in the best way possible. I never thought I would find a group of other women that are so supportive, and like not even just in the business aspects, but like they actually want to know you and your life and support you in any way that they can. And as a new mom, I found that I was losing a lot of people that were important to me, but I never felt like I was truly like alone, because I had this other community.
Yeah, and that's beautiful too. And I think you guys, all of you ladies, do it so well. Is the people that get the most out of this, whether it be oils, community, business, is the people that actually like take it, in the sense of, I can reach out to 5 people that are on my heart, but if they don't actually, you know, message me back, like take the support and whatever, even if it's just like, just to be a friend, that's huge. So you guys opened your heart to say, yep, I'm willing to, you know, be checked on, like asked questions, supported as a friend or a business partner, or any of those things, right? And that's a gift too, to just be open. The people that feel the best using their oils and doing the business are the people that are open to that and receptive to just being part of a community, right? I love that. Okay, so what is one piece of advice that you would tell people if, well, you said it too, you're like, I don't think I can juggle everything with, you know, baby and all that. So what would you tell people?
To not overthink it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't have to know everything straight off the bat. You're not going to. Like, I am still learning things that I didn't know before, and I think it'll always stay that way. You can, like, it's impossible to always know everything. And I think that's a nice thing too, is you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's like a huge growth thing. And I've noticed yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you think you know everything, you're just not being open or receptive to learning, because I don't think we will know everything in any capacity. So if someone's waiting to, you know, start sharing or helping somebody or start their business until they know everything, they're going to be waiting forever. But in the meantime, they're also probably not even open to the idea of learning or growing or asking questions. And that's how you learn and grow. So, well, okay. So now you at the end, why are you doing this business? What is your deep why? No, you, Des. Don't run away. You.
Mine is, like I said, I would love to be able to stay home with and not have to go back to work. I don't want to miss out on things like at all. And to be able to just like have that freedom and not have to, you know, plan things around a work schedule. And it would be nice to just stay home, do what we want to do, and not have to worry about, you know, like I said, putting her in childcare or like things like that.
Especially right now with, you know, everything going on in the world, you want your kids home, I'm assuming, right? You don't want them out and about and with all these random people. Like, if you can have them home with you and be able to, you know, watch them grow and care for them, that's a gift. So, okay, before Jill hops on, thanks, Des, for another giveaway, because I'm sure Meredith has one going somewhere. I would love for everybody to share their why. And like, I'll probably prompt you and make you dig harder if you're like, I just want to help people. Like, I want you to really sit with it and like actually think about if the reason that you give your why, it's unique to you, but is that going to, you know, keep you going if, let's say, things are really hard or it's stressful at, you know, your day job, or your family's crazy, things are all over the place, or people say no to you, like, would that keep you going? And if it does, then that is, deep enough. And if it's not, then I think you need to dig down a little bit more and dig into those layers. So that'll be for another giveaway. Okay, Jill, last but not least, I'd love for you to share your story, when you started using oils and why, and a little bit about you.
So I started using oils back in 2015. A friend of mine, actually was my massage therapist, had got herself her brand new kit. And I was not looking for oils. It was not like, it was totally by accident. And she basically said, hey, I just got these essential oils. Do you mind if I use them in your treatments? And I was like, well, sure, whatever. Like, I truly had no idea about them at all. And so she used them in the treatment, and the whole time she was talking about how we can replace these toxic products in our home with essential oils, like what you could do with them. So it was basically an hour. She just went on and on about you could do that. And I soaked it all up. I loved it because I was at a point in my life, I'd only had 2 kids at that time, and they were both really little. But it was on my heart so heavy. I was so focused on, how do I get these products out of my home that are in there now? And then what do I do to replace them? Because I was overwhelmed with how big of a job that really was. I started to really research and learn, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is this even possible? And so when she presented all of these different options and what this kit did, I was like, that is the easy button. That right there, I need that kit. I'm like, I need your kit. And she's like, what? I want that kit. And she's like, well,
it's mine. You can take it.
Pretty much. She's like, well, I'm like, okay, well, I said, I made her offer, and I said, I will pay you full price for that kit if I could take it home, because she had been using it already, right? And I really did not care. I felt so amazing. I so desperately needed those oils in my life that I really wasn't taking no for an answer, because I was so full of anxiety and stress. I was just operating at like Mach 10, and the way I felt at the end of my appointment with her was like nothing short of incredible. And I can't even really put words to it. I just knew there was something amazing about those oils, and I needed to have them. And so she did. She sold me her kit, and I walked home and I started playing with oils, not really knowing what I was doing. And it was about, let's say 2 or 3 months later, that I sort of noticed my acne was going away. And I was not intentionally doing anything. I wasn't using oils specifically for my skin. I had no protocol. I was just willy-nilly throwing things in the diffuser, not knowing what I was doing. I was not connected to a community at that time. I had no idea this amazing community existed. And so my acne started disappearing, and I had bad acne. It was pretty bad. I had bad eczema. I was struggling huge with anxiety. And I too had huge amounts of pain, chronic pain. And so these things started disappearing almost without effort. And that is when I knew, like, beyond a shadow of the doubt, I need to tell people about this. And so I ended up getting connected with the community, and it just kind of went from there.
I think that's such an important thing. I love that story too. I didn't know you about the massage therapist, but I think that's so important too, of why we also have to share. Like, we have great products, we have great community, we have a great business model, like all those kinds of things. Gotta write the winner down. But if we're not sharing that we have this support, like, that is one of the most amazing things. Like, yeah, you can go on Amazon and buy oils. They're not going to do the same, but sure, you can throw them in your diffuser. You can probably go on Marketplace and you can buy some oils on there. That's fine. Like, they might be Young Living, someone selling what they don't use or something, but you are missing the community. Like, you're missing the people there to support you, to cheer you on. Like, everybody, all three of you guys have said that's something that you love, is being able to ask people questions and connect and have that community. So don't discount that, and don't discount offering that to people right now, because especially in this, time of the world, that's what we're craving, is community and connection. And we all want to feel better. And that is a part of, I would say, community and connection too. So I love that. And you are a nurse, Jill. So can you kind of share, I guess, how, you had all these things that you needed and wanted support with, but it wasn't like you weren't taking care of yourself, or maybe you hadn't tried different things. Was that like kind of a big realization to be like, shoot, like I should have been using these for a while? Or, someone who's knowledgeable about the body and their health and healthcare, how different that was to be using oils versus what you'd already been using?
Well, I was definitely skeptical about using the oils for emotions, which is actually ironic in itself, because I walked in there and I was like, okay, I get that. Oils are made of molecules. Our pharmaceuticals were all they all came from plants originally. That's where it started. Mm-hmm. And then, so I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I think the thing that really made the difference for me was that these things that I was struggling with, the acne and the eczema, they went away when my stress went down. Right. And your stress is like largely tied to your emotions. And then of course, that's the connection with the physical body. And I think that in itself, when I realized that, hey, there is way more to this than I realized. And then I started doing some research and realizing that it's actually science, like emotions. Here, I thought it was all woo woo. I never really, dove into that end of it, but it's completely scientific, the way essential oils affect your limbic system, how your limbic system affects the rest of your body, literally the rest of your body. So for me, a lot of my ailments, or my, the things that were bugging me the most, they were tied up into the level of stress and anxiety that I was experiencing. So just by addressing that intentionally, I was able to magnify all of my other, magnify my health journey, right? So
I think the same for me. And I know all of you three ladies have mentioned like stress and emotional support is like, that wasn't what we thought we'd get from oils, but look at the huge impact it had on us. And especially right now with what's going on in the world and everybody's lives, like that is a huge gift to share with people, is just how much it has impacted us emotionally, which trickles into every other area. So that is huge. Yeah. Okay. So when did you start sharing and, realize like, hey, this could be another source of income and I can do this business?
Pretty quickly, actually. So as soon as I got tied into the community or hooked up with the community, I realized, okay, so backing up just a second, I realized that I missed out on a huge piece, and that was our Essential Rewards program. So when my friend first told me about the oils, I literally held up my hand and was like, I don't want to hear about your monthly program. Like, don't even, like, I don't, I'm good. I just,
you were stressed, Jill. She will forgive you.
Yeah, for sure. And then of course I get into the community and I'm like reading about this Essential Rewards program, and I'm like, oh man, I need to get on that, because that's really good. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing, which led me to realizing that there was a huge income potential too. And although they're not tied together, the community is where I started to learn about all of these things and all of the blessings that Young Living has. And so I bought my kit at the end of August. I didn't make another purchase until October, which is when I went on Essential Rewards. And then I held my first class in the first week of November. And my first paycheck was just under $500. And I was like, what? Like, for real? That's like mine? And that's where I started to realize like there was potential here. And I just like sat in my living room and shared my love of the oils and what was happening for me with my friends. Right. So I'm like, I can get down with that. Like that, I was going to do that anyways, but if there's like a good amount of money tied to this, like that's just an extra icing on the cake, because honestly, money is always great. Like we can always do more with money, but we weren't hurting for money. We were, you know, I've got a good job. We've got a stable income, but I saw what I could do with that money. And that was like, okay, like we can do big things here. So that's kind of where it started, I guess.
And $500, like some people are like, $500, like that's not that much money you're making. $500 over a year, that's a lot of money. $500 compounded over 5 years, that's a lot of money. That's money that you can use to pay off bills or debt or save or invest or whatever you want. But the fact is, it is an extra source of income. And like you said, you had enjoyment and fulfillment just by helping people. So that was just an extra. And I think if we get back to, again, like how excited you were just to share with them on your couch and, you know, explain as you're going through these changes and these transformations. I think if you've been doing this business for a while, you're probably, you know, maybe it is harder to share sometimes because you forget how you felt like that. So if you can kind of get back into that mindset of, you know, this is how excited I was, and these are the changes that I felt at this time. Like if I can, you know, just share that with people, that's powerful. Oh, I love that you said that. Okay, so how do you make it work with your family and your nursing role and other priorities, Jill?
Well, that changes all the time. So life is always changing, and we get to change how it works for us in our life. So for a long time, it was night times, evenings, kids would go to bed, and I would put this time aside and work on my business and reach out to people. And that really worked for a long time. And then, you know, nowadays I'm working it in first thing in the morning. I'm getting up earlier. I'm creating new habits. I'm creating different habits that are working for us now. So that is working right now. And honestly, if I am on my lunch break, quite often I'm reaching out to people, takes 5 minutes, 5 messages in 5 minutes is just to let people know that, hey, you know, I'm thinking of you. And to me, going back to what we said about the community, that's one of the biggest blessings. And I think just being connected to people is really, really is fulfilling for me. Right. So being able to reach out to people, that's just the best.
I think I also have to mention too, is like, I do the same thing. If I've got a few minutes or on break, I'll do that. But I think we have to release the expectation that we need to respond instantly to somebody, because we do not, and you will not be successful if you think you can respond to every person immediately. Like that's not a priority. Like you are a priority, you know, your mental health, your physical health, your family, that's a priority. Doesn't mean you can't fit this business into your life, but you just have to give yourself grace. Like if I don't actually have the time to properly read a message and respond, you know, with actually thinking about it intentionally, I don't open it. And sometimes that's hours, 2 hours a day. Sometimes that's days. Like if things are really slammed for me at work or at home, I don't reply to people for days. And it doesn't mean I don't love them and I'm not excited to talk with them, but that just means I'm actually honoring them and me more, because I'm waiting until I can actually respond intentionally and not just like quickly while I'm at work and not even paying attention to them. Right. So I think that's a good reminder, is like, don't think you have to be this instant response. Like social media is kind of like that some days. Just drop that fear.
We're doing this for ourselves, right? So I think that we have to remember that it has to fit into a life that we enjoy. So if you're not enjoying it and you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, great point. I've even started here and there. This is hard for me to take breaks, but when I am full-time with Young Living, I do want to have days where I'm intentionally completely offline, like disconnected. Right now I don't, because I'm just so, with my shift work, I'm just so kind of all over the place with my schedule that I kind of make it work wherever. But when I am full-time with Young Living, I want that. So when I have had time off, I've been trying to do that. I think I've done it a couple of times, and like, it's like kind of hard to give up control a little bit, but it's like, this is what I want for my future. And that's what's going to feel good. Right. So even doing something like that, saying, you know, I'm going to be offline today. If you need me, contact XYZ or Young Living at this number, and just releasing it and, focusing on your priorities and your family. You'll feel so much more refreshed by that. And then doing that little consistent work all the other days than you will by trying to just like burn yourself out.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I've started doing that as well as taking the weekend. So I'm in a role that is no longer shift work. And so I'm able to do that. But just taking a step back and maybe not feeling like I don't feel like I need to answer to anyone. Those are my days as well, right? And so you can still answer to your personal messages, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I definitely take a step back on the weekend. I still maybe post and show up and I'm consistent, but just like you said, we're creating the life that we want. And so what do you start living your life, start working your business the way you want to be doing that in 5 years, right? So that's another thing I've started incorporating is who do I want to be? How do I want to run my business 5 years from now? And how do I start showing up as her right now? So that's it sounds like kind of a lot of what you said a few minutes ago, but really trying to bring her out.
Such good advice. Because if you can't, embody that person now, you're probably not going to get to that. And it doesn't mean like, the person I want to be is going to be at home doing this full time. And I can't be in that at this moment, but I can still, embody pieces of that, or just take that one day a week or a month offline and things like that. Like even little things can be impactful.
That person is already you, right? That person in 5 years, you are that person already. It's just trying to pull pieces of her out and let her start living that way.
And I think that's a reminder too, to where do you want to be in 5 years? If you are at, the same job, same place, same income, same fulfillment that you are now, and you're not happy with it, well, then you have to do something about it. Nothing is going to change, right? So what Des and Brooke have already said is like, just do it. Like if that's not where you want to be, it's not going to change in 5 years unless you do something. That's a good reminder. Okay, what do you enjoy most, or what's one thing you enjoy most about your business?
I'm gonna have to say the community. But truly it is, right? I was really lacking that sense of connection before Young Living. I felt I was very much an introvert. I felt very alone and I've never really felt like I belonged anywhere most of my life. And when I came to Young Living, I was able to connect with different people who were of like minds, right? Who thought along the same lines that I do and share a lot of the same interests. And of course, one of them being, natural wellness and personal growth. That personal growth piece has been amazing because I went from somebody who was lacking self-confidence was an understatement, right? I just did not believe in myself at all. In fact, that was one of my excuses in the beginning why I, when I wouldn't show up, that was what was going through my head, right? I wasn't good enough. Nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. What I had to say was not of value. And that was so far from the truth, right? So
yeah, I feel that so deeply. And I know I'll probably cry too. At retreat that we had a couple months ago, like you get into a room of other women and you share things like this, and we all have the same fears. We all have the same limiting beliefs. That was like 2 days of like crying and sharing our crap with each other. And it's like, we all have those things. It's whether you choose to believe them or whether you choose to do something despite of them, and to lean on other people in this community and say like, I am scared to do that, but that's okay. Like I'm still, a person that's going to show up and a person that's going to do this. And I know my confidence is not even remotely the same. Like the way I love myself, the way I show up, the way it trickles into every other area, like your relationships, your family, your business, my nursing role is so impacted because of Young Living and what it has done for me physically and mentally and emotionally. But the business side too, like you said, that personal development is like nothing that you've ever experienced before when you're willing to, you just show up for yourself in all those ways. So I love that you mentioned that. Okay. And what is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody who is like, yeah, I don't know, Jill, like, I just don't really have time. Like,
everybody has time if it's important. Really, it's just what's a priority to you. But I think my biggest piece of advice is just to take messy action. Just perfection is not duplicatable. And I think for a long time, I'm also a recovering perfectionist. And so when we strive for that perfection is never, it's an unachievable goal, right?
It's just and like so, knowing it all. We're never going to know it all. We're never going to be perfect. Never.
And so, and it's not relatable, right? Like here I am trying to be this perfect leader, this perfect role model, and really actually giving myself a hard time when I can't achieve it, because actually it's impossible to achieve. It's like a really vicious cycle. So I would just say, be yourself. Your message is in your mess. Just show up, be consistent, and whatever that consistency is, if it's 5 minutes a day, that's beautiful, right? Show up for 5 minutes a day in your imperfection and share what's in your heart.
So beautiful. Would you ladies, because I know for me, one way that I, just did it and like got over those kinds of things was like personal development and mindset work. So do you guys agree that that's like a large piece of being successful in this business, is actually working on that self and that mindset and those kinds of things?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've become more aware of, like, especially just in like the recent months. I find that something that is like I need to do is like I need to carve out time for myself, because if I can't be the best version of me, no one else is going to get that. So yeah, no, it's definitely something that it's like pieces of puzzles that go together, like.
And you'd think we'd learn this stuff in school, but we don't. So it's our opportunity to share it with other people, is like how we talk to ourselves, what we think, what, those kinds of things that are super impactful. All right, Jill, last but not least, what is your why for doing this business?
My why has changed. When I first started, it was to stay home with my kids. And then I realized I don't actually want to do that. And I know there's other mothers out there who are the same. But at the time, I hated my job. I was a fairly new RN within a few years, and I just hated what I was doing, and I would have done anything to not be there, really. That's changed dramatically. I now work in a job that I love and is, so fulfilling to me, but I get to do both, right? And what Young Living will do for me is basically going to give me more authority over my own time. I can get to pick and choose when I do that job, how I do that job, and not feel like I am, for lack of a better word, enslaved into somebody else's schedule. So I'd like to be able to work casually. I'd like to be able to feel like if I wanted to quit my job, I could, and that would be okay. I don't want to feel like I have to go to work, because when I have to do stuff, it's no fun. I don't know about anybody else, but I hate being told what to do. I have a problem with authority. And so just being tied into that job is like, not ideal, right? I want to be able to go on vacations. I want to be able to take my family across the world, or basically just to live my own life. I want to be in charge of my own life.
And have that income and that time to do that. And I think that's a really great point that you said, is like, it doesn't have to be everybody's goal or why to, stay home with your family. Like, that is not everybody's dream, and not everybody wants to do Young Living full time. So that doesn't have to be your goal or your dream. But it has to be something that's important to you, or you're not going to do it, right? So you can still totally love your job, but you want another source of fulfillment and purpose, or, friendship. So it's going to look totally different for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Courtney was the other winner, Courtney K of the giveaway. If anyone has any other thoughts, you're welcome to share. But I would just want to thank you, ladies, for joining. I think we don't do this enough. We don't share about, our gifts and our stories, and we don't even share about oils enough, truthfully. I was just on a business call with Young Living Canada, and it's something crazy. I'll have to find the stats, but it's something like 0.0006% of Canadians have Young Living products in their home. That needs to be changed. Like, that is wild. And that means they don't even have the products, let alone the community, and let alone the big income, and let alone like that source of fulfillment. So we have a lot of work to do. And if we know why we're doing it, and we're showing up in a way that fits us and fits our routine and feels good, then it's just going to feel so good, and we're going to make such an impact. All right, ladies. Okay, thanks for joining. I will try and get off other things without breaking anything. Okay. Cancel.